Jake, I want to know, what do you consider to be the peak of masculinity in your life? You know, your day-to-day.
What, things that I do that are really masculine, you mean?
Yeah, the most masculine thing that you do in your day-to-day life.
Maybe shave. Shave's probably up
Shave's a good one. Well, anything else? And nothing else come to mind? You're not a peak alpha male like me.
You know, I was also oddly thinking about that this morning too, and I think one of the most masculine things you can do in the world right now is either yard work or any sort of like housework that involves possibly like being covered in bugs and dirt and shit. Like if you have to like crawl into a crawl space in a house. Yeah, that's some masculine
That's a
stuff.
good fucking answer. It's a very solid answer. But I think I have you beat because I just took part in the most masculine activity that I can think of, which is eating a Costco rotisserie chicken with my hands over the sink. So that's what I did for the last 5 minutes.
I wouldn't call that masculine activity. I would call that degenerate activity.
Potato. That's why I was 3 minutes late to the record, is because I was slurping up chicken juice over the sink like a goddamn animal, and it was incredible. Well, I wasn't even hungry.
It's kind of insane.
But I ate half a chicken just because I could, and it was there, and it was warm still. The other half of the chicken is in the fridge right now. I'm doing a hike on Monday, so I'm going to cut it up and make sandwiches with it so that I have something to eat on the hike because I'm a health-conscious boy. But
yeah, that's exactly what I would say for health-conscious, but yeah.
Yeah, I bought a rotisserie chicken. I'm going to make sandwiches with it, you know? I might make a stock out of the bones if I give enough of a shit to do that.
I doubt you do that.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do it just to prove you wrong.
I keep getting the same reel on Instagram about some guy that like basically like anything like that where it's like, oh, you got a rotisserie chicken. This is how you make a stock out of the bones, and this is what you should do with your rind for a watermelon, or like, you know, the extra stuff you get.
Is it that French guy?
I think he's English.
I get this French dude who's like, he's like a vegan French guy, and he's like, do you like gummy bears? Well, you can make your own gummy bears at home. And he's like, eat 15 pounds of kiwis and then save all of the seeds and smash them up. And then smash the seaweed, take the seeds and dry age them in the sun for 16 days. And then you take it and you add sugar and honey and you make a delicious sweet treat. And I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that. Who in their goddamn right mind in the modern world does that shit? No one. Lunatics do that. And I can't withstand them. Because it's like, if you have a job that you have to leave your house for a significant amount of time, there's no way you're getting home from 8 hours of doing whatever the fuck you do for money. I mean, like, you know what I'm going to do? Spend another 3 hours muddling kiwi seeds with my fucking bare hands because I'm an animal. No. You just go to the store and you buy fucking fruit snacks like a normal person.
Yeah, I'm not.
And you enjoy them.
Snacks.
Yeah, you enjoy them. You get all those microplastics.
I would never spend that much time making something that is not a meal, you know? That's just like a snack. Yeah. That's kind of insane to me to make a snack for that long.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I am unemployed currently because I'm
an hour
Chad.
making snacks?
And so I did spend a pretty long time last weekend making, like, sides for a dinner I made. Because I was making patty melts, which is basically just, if you don't know, a cheeseburger without any of the fucking, like, vegetables on it. And instead of a bun, it's on bread, you know? That's all. So I was making patty melts that take 5 minutes to make. So I was like, I want to make some good fucking sides to go with this. And so what I did was I bought all these little potatoes, and I boiled them, and I scooped out the insides and made mashed potatoes with the insides and took the, like, outsides of the potatoes that were left over, and I fried those. And so I had these, like sort of tortilla chip, like, French fries that I then filled with the mashed potatoes that I had made. It was fucking delicious, but only afterwards did I realize I basically just made potato deviled eggs, which kind of took away some of the fun for it for me. I'll be 100% honest with you. And I was like, oh, I just did deviled eggs, but instead of eggs, I used potatoes. It took approximately 15 times longer, you know? But whatever. But you know what doesn't take 15 times longer than making a deviled egg? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles Long, and with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am swell, Charles. Excited another episode of the podcast where we come up with new TV show ideas every single week, new characters, storylines, all that jazz.
Settings, arcs, actors.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna resurrect actors that have been dead for decades to star in our TV shows.
Yeah, I think you did that with Peter Cushing
John
a couple
Hamm.
weeks ago. So.
Yeah, and we always cast John Hamm, but like 30-year-old John Hamm, not current age John Hamm.
Well, who doesn't like 30-year-old
You know?
John Hamm? He's great. I love 30-year-old
Yeah,
John
except for that guy, he set that guy on fire. But besides that
that
was pretty
wasn't
cool.
30-year-old John Hamm. I think that was younger John Hamm, right?
That was like 19-year-old John Hamm, but still set a guy on fire.
Nothing wrong with 30-year-old John Hamm. Questions about 19-year-old John Hamm. Allegedly, I'm not sure if what you're saying. I know vaguely about what you're talking about, but we don't know for sure. So allegedly is the word.
He was involved. I think it was like a college fraternity hazing thing that got out of hand, and that guy caught on fire. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was never in fraternities. You were a big frat guy. You were a big frat bro. I know you were out there butt chugging,
me and John
doing
Hamm.
rush weeks.
Me and John Hamm. And we were lighting people on fire. Allegedly lighting people on fire.
Allegedly. What else did frats do? Paddles? That paddled you? Did you paddle anyone, Jake? Did you get paddled?
No. I John Hamm and I were not in the not together. Unfortunately, I am much younger than John Hamm, so I didn't get to experience his. If I went to the same college as John Hamm, I'd probably join his fraternity. He seems like a cool guy.
He does seem like a cool guy.
Maybe not if I get set on fire, but that's an alleged instance. We don't know that would happen.
Allegedly set on fire.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with our normal podcast. We have a TV show idea, or I have one because it's my turn this week. You gave me a title last week, "The Worst Thief in the Galaxy," I believe it was.
Yes, it was.
This one was fun. I like this one because I had to. I like when I have an easy title, like you give me something easy where it's like, okay, I get to do. It's gonna be a fun idea. I don't have to. You don't give me something like insanely
esoteric and weird.
Yeah, where then I have to come up with like the fifth corner. That was for the audience, if you haven't seen the fifth corner, I had to come up with a really weird pitch to fit the fifth corner, which was the title Charlie gave me. So,
which is still up there in some of my favorite titles that we've done, for sure. Psychedelic being my favorite title I've ever given you. I'm looking over the list of all the titles I've given you.
Psychedelic was good too. I like that one. That was
yeah.
That was like my cyberpunky show, I believe. Anyway, not this week. This week, Worst Thief in the Galaxy. I really did try to come up with an idea where I could do what you do to me, where I give you a cool sci-fi title and you make it into like a enduring,
heartfelt dramedy,
family drama thing, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I had some ideas, but I just couldn't. I couldn't write the words on the page. It felt nasty, you know.
It's too lame. It's not masculine. That's the least masculine thing I do. Yes. I would say.
Yeah.
You give me a Star Wars-esque title, and I turn it into like a heartfelt like drama about a father and son like loving each other. That's the least masculine thing I do in my day-to-day life, I would say.
All right. Well, normally I start with the characters, but I'm just going to jump right into the pilot, and then I'll do like little character explanations as we get to the people. There aren't a whole lot of intricate characters like a whole lot of deep character descriptions, because this is not a show, Charlie. It is a movie. So there's limited amount of characters.
Oh, look at this.
So, the film begins. Several ships warp into open space. We see a bunch of them. There's like a cruise liner, or a passenger ship, there's like a cargo ship, and then there's a big military ship. And inside the bridge of the military ship, a lieutenant tells the captain that the convoy has stayed together. All three passenger ships and the cargo vessels. So 3 passenger ships, 1 cargo vessel, and the big military ship. And they just warped into a new area. The lieutenant tells the captain that they all stayed together through the warp. The captain nods and says that pirates don't usually come out this far, so we should be okay. We'll just do a quick, easy refuel, and then at the jump station, and then we can warp to the next sector. We then cut to a wide shot and see the passenger ship full of people. It's not like... I said cruise ship earlier. It's not like a cruise ship. It's like... one of those big ferries you take from England to France where it's, you know, there's like maybe a gift shop. There's maybe like one place you could eat at, like a restaurant. Lots of lounges about.
There'll be like a cafe, whatever. They're not...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not like, you know, this isn't like luxury, but it's kind of like, this is something you can do for a couple of hours. But this is a little bit more than that. There's also like a bunk place where you can sleep. So this is meant for, you know, maybe a day's journey on this passenger ship.
All right.
So there's tons of people on. It's, you know, it's not packed, but pretty full. And a little kid points out the window and says that the moon has spots on it. And the mother laughs and she's like, "Oh, that's, you know, you're just being silly. Those are craters, sweetie." And then the kid says, "Well, the craters are getting closer, Charlie. The craters are getting closer because they're not craters. They're pirate ships." Oh no! So
that sucks.
This little convoy, these 3 passenger ships, 1 cargo ship, and the big military ship are being ambushed by a fleet of clunky, weird-shaped-looking pirate ships that are going to ambush the convoy. And as the ambush starts, Charlie, the song is going to start playing, Folsom Prison Blues, the Johnny Cash song.
Awesome song.
This one big military ship has to, like, you know, swerve and start shooting all the pirate ships that are coming through the air, like all varying sizes. Some are like pretty big, could probably have like, you know, 2 dozen people in them. Some are smaller, like little fighters.
Yeah.
And the big military ship, it's got like a flight deck, and it's sending out fighters to intercept the pirate ships. So big, epic space battle. You know, kind of similar-esque to the opening of Revenge of the Sith. You know, where we're like following 2 fighters.
The best part of that movie. The best part of
amazing,
Star Wars
movie.
since 1999,
the
I would say, is the opening of Revenge of the Sith. Just fighters everywhere, chaos, lunacy.
The fighters fighting each other. It's great, fantastic, and that's what this is going to be like.
It would be awesome.
So this epic space battle commences as the fighters are coming out, pirates and military people are shooting at each other. And as like 2 fighters crash into each other, we hear a blaring alarm, and we cut to the inside of a bedroom as a tired Percy Weathers slaps the alarm clock and rises out of bed. Percy Weathers is a famed thief, galactic thief at the end of his prime, so probably maybe late 30s, early 40s. Very stern man, but can be humorous, likes a good pun. Kind of like Batman is in the animated series, where he's a very serious person, but he makes like jokes in fights. You know, he'll throw a pun out and stuff like that.
Yeah, he'll be like, "How'd that?" You know, maybe a goon runs up to him. I'm gonna give you a knuckle sandwich, and then Batman like trips him and he falls and face first in the gravel. He's like, "How'd that taste?" Haha. And then he, you know, gets punched in the face by a guy he wasn't paying attention to. He's not all grum and grumpy all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Percy, he's a very relaxed person, just wants to relax. Big loner, but has lots of friends. He gets made fun of because he always risks it for massive scores, but only steals very little, which we'll get into shortly. So Percy Weathers, he's in his bedroom. Very tiredly gets out of bed, rises, makes a coffee, and we're cutting between his like daily routine and the space battle as we're going through with the Folsom Prison Blues playing in the background. So Percy, he lives in a cool place. He lives on a crashed battleship that he's refitted into a home, and it's crashed on a moon.
That is cool.
So it's just neat looking. So it's like split in the middle, and he lives on like one half of the battleship that he's like, not even all of it. It's just like a little section of, because it's a big ship that he's like refitted into his home and like, you know, sealed off and actually set up into like a little habitat that he can live in.
Yeah, I was assuming that it was like a city-sized ship, and it's just this like massive thing, and you see like crazy little like scavenger droids like whittling away at some part, and maybe there's some like creatures flying around one bit, and then we kind of zoom in and fly past all the crazy, wreckage and stuff, and we go to this tiny little, not tiny, but like small cabin where we see a light on, and then we go in through a window and we see Percy, and he's making eggs or whatever. He's getting up and starting his day.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's enjoying breakfast. He's looking out at the view. He's got this great view from his window, so you can see like a little bit of the landscape of the moon, but it kind of just like looks straight up, and he can see like this blue sun off in the distance and this very green, verdant planet as well with nice big oceans. So he's got like the perfect view, perfect home, this cool little like pirate hideaway that he lives in. And his kitchen and his like living room are full of trophies. It's a very messy place, and it's full of like trophies. So like destroyed robots that are like propped up in a certain way, and heads of monsters and all this kinds of stuff. So it's not like he just has all this stuff on the floor, but it's like arranged in a way that's like there's just so many trophies from all of his jobs that he has everywhere, and it just seems very cluttered.
Yeah, haphazardly, like he's a bachelor, and he has all this cool shit, but he's not really all that fussed for, designing interior decoration and shit.
He wants all of it, everywhere, all the time. So it's just the way it is. So he turns on a little shield, and he steps out onto like this little porch that he has, and he sits down. So like he's basically sitting out on the surface of the moon now, but there's like a little shield that just showed up and like filled the area with oxygen. So he's just like sitting on this little like lawn chair, drinking his coffee, looking at the sights. He turns on a little radio next to him. He's like flipping through the channels. We'll hear like little radio shows. We'll hear like truck drivers talking until eventually he gets to the signal of a ship in distress, panicking, talking about their convoy's been attacked by pirates. And on the other line of the call is the military police say that they're going to be there in 3 jumps. And Percy will go like, 3 jumps. I could do it in 1. And he stands up, puts down his coffee, or maybe like finishes the rest of it, puts on his clothes real quick, and then hops over to this really cool looking arrow like sleek silver ship that he has. And as this is happening, we're cutting between
like Padme's ship in the first Star Wars, in what do you call it? In what's the fucking first prequel called? Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, yes.
Right, that like totally reflective ship.
Yeah, same in like the color and like the I guess the shape, but not the size. So it's a lot smaller than that.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-person fighter essentially with like a little trunk space.
Oh, like a World War II fighter pilot or fighter plane.
Yeah, so it's very small. This is like, and compared to like the not in size, but compared to like the use. This isn't like the bus of ships. This is like the Fiat of ships. It's very small. You can fit like a couple of people in here. You can fit some stuff in the back. It's a very, very tiny ship. So while this is happening, we're cutting between the battle and him getting onto his ship. And in the battle, we can see that the pirates have boarded one of the passenger ships. And we see this, somewhat silly inter-pirate arguing about, like, how we are going to rob these people. And, different pirates are getting angry, like, oh, no, I'm the one who wanted to stand up and yell that we're the sunless pirates. And the other guy's like, no, I'm supposed to, he told boss that I could yell at this time. You're not supposed to be the one. And the other guy's like, no, boss said I could. And then all of a sudden,
you always get to do it, Ted. God, don't use names, idiot. Hits him in the head. Shit like that.
Yeah. He's like, doesn't matter. We don't even have masks on this time. Like, what names don't matter.
We're gonna shoot these people. What? Well, no, we're not gonna shoot you. Just everyone else. Don't worry about it. Just don't tell anyone.
So as these pirates are arguing over who gets to start the introduction, a big burly man with a robot arm and robot leg steps on. It's Brahm the Sunless, the leader of the Sunless Pirates. He's big and he's angry, and he does this epic grovelly introduction that's like, we are the Sunless Pirates. Put everything in the bag, blah, blah, blah. And he all angry, and all the people are terrified because he's this big, ugly, terrible-looking pirate who's gonna rob and kill them.
Yeah.
And as he's given his introduction, Percy hops in the sleek ship that I was talking about, and he jumps, and the jump of the ship is like very chaotic. It makes all these like cranky error noises. It's like when we see the other ships come into like warp into space, it's very like just like a whoosh, and it's like very seems very well kept together, and it makes sense, and it's like it seems safe. The way this ship jumps is very chaotic. It's like jittering forward, jittering backwards. Big red area pops up. There's like a little portal seems to pop up for a second, and then it jumps through space, and then the same thing happens on the other side when suddenly this ship
like
appears right in the middle of the battle.
And like Percy's the only person in the galaxy who can work this ship,
Well, we'll get into that later. That's important for the show.
Oh, okay.
So
I was imagining kind of the 2001 A Space Odyssey jump when all of the like flashing colors go by, and everybody else's jumps, they're just like vroom, like one zunk and you're there. But Percy's is like all crazy psychedelic kaleidoscope sort of lights and sounds and colors, you know?
And it seems like very like there's lots of red. It doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. It's not gonna work well.
Yeah.
Right. So jumps right into the middle of the battle, and Brahm the Sunless, the pirate, the big hulking pirate, is very happily collecting money and robbing all the passengers when he looks out the window and he sees the sight of Percy's silver ship. And he's instantly pissed off, drops the money on the ground and yells in rage, and all the pirates around him are like, oh, fuck. Percy, on the other hand, is surveying the field in his cool ship at very high speeds, much faster than any of the other ships around. Just sort of skating through the battlefield. No one's able to hit him. And he surveys the field real quick, notices the different ships. There's 3 passenger ships, this big military ship, and there's 1 cargo vessel. And the 1 cargo vessel is sort of like limping away. Its engines have been shot. And so while the passenger ships are trying to stay near the military ship, this cargo vessel is trying to run. And so Percy decides to go for that cargo vessel. Brahm, on the other hand, is angry and is demanding his pirates shoot at Percy rather than the convoy, and they do, and Percy's now having to weave through like all these lasers as all the pirate ships are no longer fighting the military, they're now fighting Percy. And so he's just like weaving through all the shots, trying to get to the cargo ship. He's firing like, his ship has like 1 small little gun on it, and it's very precise, and so he can't he doesn't have any missiles or anything to take out big ships. He can only hit like a couple of little shots, and so he does like a cool little spin around. He'll like wipe out one ship's guns or another ship's guns, but he's not like actually, he's disabling them. He's not destroying them because
he's not destroying any ships. He's just stopping them from attacking him.
Exactly. Yeah, and he pulls off this risky maneuver where he like goes right past the military ship, and you can see the captain see the sleek silver ship, and he's like, what the hell is that? What is that? Like, Lieutenant, tell me, have you ever seen a ship like that before? And he's like, no, Captain, I don't know. That's crazy. And they're amazed at how fast and agile it is as it's going through the air. But because he just went past the military vessel, now all the pirates are getting held up by the military ship. And Percy's able to make it to the cargo vessel. So he'll land, he boards the cargo ship, guns down, and beats up some guards until he breaks into a vault that is absolutely chock full of treasure and money. But Percy's just one dude, so he just takes 2 sacks out from his pack, fills them up with what he can handle, and leaves the rest. And heads back to his ship. But as he's going back, Charlie, casually walking back, think that this isn't going to be too bad. He looks out the window, and he sees one of the passenger ships is coming right for him. And we'll zoom in, and we'll see that Brahm has taken the wheel of the passenger ship. He's like, Percy, shit. I'm going to get you. And the passenger ship slams into the side of the cargo vessel. Massive explosions. Brahm's like jumping over, trying to get to Percy. Percy's now running. He's dropped one of the sacks, and now he only has 1 at this point. And just as he makes it onto his ship, he gets shot by Brahm. And so he's got a little bit of an injury, huddles into the cockpit, takes off. The ship's sort of like, it's having trouble getting going, and he barely gets into space. And as he gets it like into the air, that's when all of a sudden those military ships that I was talking about that were 3 jumps away that you heard on the radio, that's when they show up, and all of a sudden it's just a hail of fire on both the pirates and Percy. And as Percy is about to jump away, one of the military ships strikes the back of his engine. So he's able to warp, but he's been hit right as he goes into it. And he warps away, but the ship is very, very damaged. Not like the jump drive, which allows him to like jump through space, but the actual engine that like propels him forward. So like the thing that makes him go faster than all the other ships around him in like just like local space travel. If that makes sense. The way I have this world imagined is that like every ship has 2 engines. They have like the warp engine, and then they have the engine that propels you through space normally.
There's the kinetic engine and then the warp engine, you know? Yeah. Kinetic engine moves you feet ahead. The warp engine moves you, I don't know, star jumps or whatever fucking silly sci-fi word we want to use.
Yeah. And the way I have this world imagined as well is that at like the cargo vessel, you have to like refuel between jumps. So maybe a ship might have like, you know, a bigger fuel tank, and they could do like 3 jumps without refueling, and some ships can only do 1 jump without refueling. But you need to refuel, so you need to plan your, you know, as you would when on a car journey. You have to make sure you're near gas stations. You have to plan it so that when you jump, you'll be near a jump refueling station, so you can do another one. Essentially, you're not just stranded wherever you are. Now, fortunately, Percy, he jumped to a system that he knows. He didn't jump home. He jumped to a place where he could repair his ship. So the ship's very damaged, and he has to sort of limp it to a nearby planet. And as he gets within, as he like gets into the atmosphere of the planet, he keeps calling somebody called Brick, his mechanic, saying he's coming in for repairs, but he might need a recovery. He keeps getting no response for the radio. And so he ends up putting down the ship, crashing it into the hills. And he has to, you know, try to hide it amongst the trees, close it up, and make his way through the hills until he reaches a large town where he finds Brick's, his mechanic shop, completely closed. It's like, oh shit, okay, well, this isn't good. So he breaks into the shop, yelling for Brick. Brick, where are you? I need you. Like, why were you answering my calls? You could have picked me up. Now I had to walk like miles through the hills to find this place. Where the hell are you? Yeah. And as he's walking through the dark mechanic shop, he gets sprung on and knocked out. And he wakes up tied up to a chair by a young girl, Allie. Now, Allie, Charlie, is Brick's nephew. Or niece, sorry. Brick's niece. She's a young mechanic, the niece of Brick. Very bright, very stubborn, and very outspoken. And so, Allie has him knocked out, tied to a chair. Percy's just dazed, confused, annoyed, needs his ship fixed. You know, he's upset. And Allie is just trying to figure out who the hell he is, and he's explaining his connection to Brick, and he just lets you like break in. I mean, he's like, not really, but I need his help, and where the hell is he? And Allie explains that Brick is on vacation, and Brick's put her in charge of the shop, so she's handling all the repairs. And he's like, oh god, this is not good. Okay, when does he get back from vacation? And she's like, I'm not really sure. I think it's going to be a couple more months. He's like, okay. Well, this sucks. I guess I'll just, like, wait around town until he gets back. And Allie's like, oh, I could fix it if you want. He's like, nope, not doing that. Brick's the only guy that knows how this ship works. It's very complicated. It's not like your normal rust buckets you get in here. This is going to be a big job. I need somebody. I need the expert. I need the master, not some apprentice that just figured out how to put together an engine.
Yeah, exactly. He's very dismissive at first, I would imagine, and then learns his lesson as the show progresses. He's like, it's a movie. Yeah, he's like 42, and she's like, I don't know, like 16, 17. He's like, there's no way she has learned how to fix this kind of shit. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. I need the guy that's been doing this for 30 years or whatever. So, as long as I've been doing what I do. Yeah, exactly. So, Percy spends a few days in town, but quickly finds that the boredom is completely unbearable. It's just like this tiny
town in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do, and it's just awful, and he hates it. Mm-hmm. And he also hears on like the galactic news that Brom, the pirate of the Sunless Pirates, is claiming that to have killed him. So Brom got like that shot off on him and is now telling everybody that he killed Percy. And Allie hears this and she's like, "Oh, does he like? I can't believe he's like telling everybody that he killed you." And he's like, "He's not. Brom knows that he hasn't killed me. He's just telling everybody so that he'll get me angry and I'll come back out of hiding so that he can actually kill me. I know this tactic. He does it all the time. It's very annoying. I just gotta lay low for a little bit and I'll be okay. I'm not gonna fall for his..."
He's a real prick, this guy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fall for this shit.
He's just an asshole.
You know, I just need to pull off a job soon so that I can get my reputation back up and show people I'm alive. I don't need to go out and fight this guy. And but it is annoying him because now he's like, it's a couple of days in, he's bored as hell, and he's like, "Okay, you know what? Actually, I'll give you a shot. But if you mess up anything, if I see something that doesn't look right, we're cutting it off, and I'm taking you out of the job." And Allie's like, "Yes, okay, hell yeah, I'll work on the ship." And so, meanwhile, Brom is incredibly angry and upset and desperately wants to kill Percy. He's doing all these, like, talks and telling all the other pirates about he killed him, but he knows that he hasn't actually killed Percy, and he just needs him to get out of hiding. He's like, "I need to find a way. I've done this too many times. I need to find a way to kill Percy once and for all." And his men are like, "Hell yeah." And he's like, "Okay, this is what we're going to do." And we cut away from that because we can't actually hear the villain's plans. That's no good. We cut away from that to the captain, Charlie, the captain from that military ship. The ship's very damaged, just now in like a big military repair yard, getting fixed. And the captain is reviewing the footage of that sleek silver ship that they saw, and he's showing it to his boss, and he's running it up the ranks, trying to learn more about this silver ship. And he learns from so he goes to like an admiral to talk about it, and the admiral's like, I don't, this isn't really of our concern, this isn't a big deal, you know, you should just move on and work on, you know, protecting those cargo vessels. And as he's leaving the meeting, he'll run into the admiral's assistant. The admiral's assistant like hands him some files and says, "You might want to look into this." And he sees that tens of years ago, decades ago, there was a lost prototype stolen by a test pilot, Charlie, named Percy Weathers. Boom,
oh
boom.
My god.
So we're getting to the end of this film here. So Percy and Allie are working on repairing a ship. They're starting to bond a little bit, and Percy is beginning to learn that Allie also finds this little podunk small town that her uncle lives on to be the most boring place in the galaxy. She likes working at the shop. She finds that fun, but this small town in the middle of nowhere is not the most exciting place. While her uncle might like the peace and quiet, she certainly doesn't as a young person in the world.
Now, has she grown up here, or is she because it's her uncle, not her dad? So it's I'm assuming it's a sort of go live with your uncle for a summer, but because it's space, a summer is 3 years or something.
Yeah, so what I had is that her dad was going to be a farmer, so she was even more bored doing that. And she came here and it was this is better, but after a while it's not as great still. And she's sort of she's the apprentice to her uncle as well. Her uncle I was going to have him he had some injury, and now he needs somebody to help around the shop, and so she's doing that. But she wants more from life as well. So they're working on the repairs. But they hit a point where they can't really do anymore because they need a special material to finally fix the engine. And that material, Charlie, is nowhere else but back on Percy's moon base, his cool freaking battleship crashed moon thing.
Ah, okay.
So they have to get there. And so they take I was kind of picturing some sort of tow truck situation. I don't really know how this would work, but they hook a cable to the silver ship and they sort of tow it into space. I don't want it to be the silver ship is parked in this other ship. I want it to be some sort of tow truck situation. I don't really know how that would work.
A towing Maybe it's you have to do some amount of the work on the ship in low orbit, so that you can because having a really heavy fucking spaceship in your garage is hard. to work on it. So you have to do it in low orbit so that there's zero gravity or low gravity. And so that's where they've been doing the last of the repairs. And now they've done most of it. And so maybe she has access to her uncle's, like, towing vehicle that he just uses to make deliveries. Like, if somebody drops off their ship at his place, he'll, work on it and then deliver it back at their place, And so it's, like, this really shitty sort of, like, pseudo-tractor sort of, like, ship that has a towing cable at the back of it,
Okay, yeah. And so they can use that to tow the silver ship back to the moon base. So they're going to arrive back at the moon base, and this is where it all kicks off. So just as they're landing, things aren't going to look quite right. He notices that maybe like all those creatures and robots and everything that we saw in the beginning, he notices they're not there anymore around the battleship. He's like, well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's not quite right. And
they have a migratory status, and usually they migrate after another 3 months,
Yeah.
They should still be here. That's odd.
And as they land, they get ambushed by all the pirates, and very quickly are overwhelmed and clamped in chains and stuff. And Percy's yelling and calling everyone idiots and cowards and making fun of the pirates and bullying them. And Allie's angry as well, because she hasn't done anything. The pirates are taking her away too, and she's done absolutely nothing.
Maybe he could be like, kid, get behind me. And she's like, no, go fuck yourself. And then she starts like he kind of wants to take all the attention away from her because he's like, I got her into this and I don't want her to get hurt. She's my friend's niece. And then she's like, nah, go fuck yourself, you one-eyed bitch. Stupid asshole with your robot legs, dumbass. Would you get those caught in a fucking escalator, you stupid prick? Like, and she's just like way meaner than he is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just like insulting everyone. But I also assumed Brom was there to be like, I won, Percy, you dingus.
Yeah. Okay. So like they've both been captured. It's not going well, and Percy has no choice but to invoke the pirate code. And he challenges Brom to a duel. So, we have this sick space duel. So they both get put into like, the way the pirate duels are going to work is they both get put into similar looking like pirate spaceships, and they like duel in space above everybody. So it's like a jet fighter duel. It's not like a on the ground fight. So cool, awesome space duel as they're fighting at each other. Brom will probably take out Percy's guns very early on in the fight, so Percy's like struggling to keep up. And the badass moment in the end will be when Percy, with no choice, just like seemingly is coming right at Brom to ram him. And Brom doesn't want to shoot Percy because if he does, Percy's just gonna explode and crash into him. And but he's like firing at like his wings and stuff to try to like clip him so that he's not gonna hit him. And Percy's like perfectly dodging all the shots, and just before he hits Brom, he'll like turn the ship slightly so that his ship just slices through Brom's ship's wings.
Ooh,
and Brom's ship will like crash and smash into the moon and explode, and Percy will win, do like some cool like barrel rolls and stuff, and everyone will cheer. Even like the pirates are cheering because that was just the coolest freaking thing they've ever seen in their life. And then none of them really like Brom too much anyway, so they're like, hell yeah,
Brom seems
Percy.
like a crappy boss.
Yeah, I mean, he's not too great. So Percy will land. Allie will hug him, be like, everybody's yelling and happy and everything. And the pirates are like, well, now you're in charge of us. You're the new pirate king because you've beaten our pirate king. And he's like, I don't really know if that's what I actually want. Maybe you all could just like leave. That'd probably be best. And as everybody's cheering and everybody's excited, the military arrives. So like 3 big military ships all warp into space right above the moon at the same time. It turns out, Charlie, that they figured out that why don't we just follow the pirates? The pirates probably know where this prototype has gone because they clearly know who this Percy guy is. So
yeah,
we follow the pirates, we'll find Percy, and they were exactly right. They've arrived at the moon base, and they're coming after Percy and his cool silver ship that he stole years ago as a prototype. And so Percy turns on the moon's defenses. So we see this like destroyed battleship that seems like mostly useless besides the part that he refitted. He actually has maybe those robots that we were talking about in the beginning that were like cutting off parts of the ship. They've been slowly repairing the ship's guns. So now this hulking battleship on the surface of the moon is now firing up onto the ships that just warped into space. It's like these automated defenses. But it's clearly not going to be enough to take out all these ships. It's just slowing them down a little bit. So Percy and Allie run to go repair that silver ship because they need to get the hell out of here and do so quickly. And as she's working on it, that's while Percy, goes to turn on the guns, and he's telling the pirates, like, you need to get out of here, too. And they're like, nah, we'll fight for you, boss. We'll hold them off. And he's like, no. Actually, I have a plan. Just listen to what I say, and we'll all be okay. We'll cut away back to Allie while she's fixing the silver ship, and she puts in the material, and the silver ship's good to go. And she's like, all right, let's go. We can hop in together and get out of here. And he's like, actually, no. And he grabs her, and he throws her to the pirates. And the pirates, who are now under his command, they're agreeing to take her home. And Percy is going to hold off the military by himself so that her and the pirates can get away.
Oh, he's such a good boss. He's such a better boss than Brom. Brom was such a prick.
We probably have all the pirates are probably
guy.
saying funny things about this. Like, this new boss is so much better than old boss. This guy's great.
Oh my god.
He's got to sacrifice
when he
himself.
dies, the next time when he dies, we need to get a new boss that's like this guy, because he's awesome. I mean, he's going to be dead in the next few minutes, but he's a really good boss.
If they're all like crying now because they're like, no, we love new boss. New boss is so much better than old boss. Oh.
He didn't call me stupid once.
This is terrible.
So it's like, we get one, maybe we have like, at the beginning, we'll have like a duo of pirates who are kind of like our Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, right? Sort of like this comedic foil to the sort of pseudo serious space opera stuff. And we could have one of them like go up and just like, he's this short little diminutive guy and he's just sobbing onto Percy's like on his like side. He's like, oh, please. And Percy's just like, all right, dude, you need to
get your shit together.
Step back. And then he just goes and he hugs the other guy and they're just weeping on each other. Meanwhile, the girl is looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Is being a pirate really that bad?
They're just completely directionless without a leader. They just need somebody to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
But now that they're being treated somewhat decently, and they have their new leader has already offered to sacrifice himself for them, they're like, he's just so great. Why? Why are we going to lose so cool? Leader? So the epic space battle ensues with Allie and the pirates watching as Percy single-handedly takes on all three ships at the same time. The new silver ship, all repaired now, perfectly gliding through all the lasers and everything, moving fast. But there's three massive, military battleships that it's fighting, and it's just this tiny little fighter. So it's absolute chaos.
You always need to be lucky. They only need to get lucky once. That old thing. Exactly. I also really like the idea that Percy doesn't use guns as much. Like, all of the other ships are really reliant on guns and missiles and stuff, and Percy is more about, like, tactics and, like, thinking like a pilot rather than thinking like a warrior. So he's, like, using, like, distraction, and maybe he's got, like, a hook or something, like a sort of like a tether, and so he'll, like, turn a gun so it fires into one of the other ships or, like, knock something out of the way, sort of, like, avoiding just shooting guys. Instead, using like smart, cool tactics.
Yeah,
I think that's an interesting thing.
And our final moment, Charlie, is that he's going to fly directly into the ship. So like as the bays open to like send out fighters, he's gonna fly right into the hangar. And because his ship is pretty small, it's able to pretty easily fit through some of like the larger corridors in the ship, and it flies right up to where the warp drive engine is, and it fires. So I said earlier that it only has this one tiny gun at the front. It actually has a single missile that it fires. There's only one missile this ship has. It fires one missile right into the warp drive of this massive battleship. And all of a sudden, red lights everywhere, blaring alarms. Percy's trying to fly out. It's like the ending scene in Return of the Jedi when they fire into the center of the Death Star and they're trying to fly out. And it's like, everything's exploding all around him. The warp drive of the ship's going crazy, and like it's expanding massively. And as he's flying out, and then from the view of Allie and the pirates, they suddenly see a giant, like a massive warp drive black hole-ish thing that appears and just swallows the ships, and massive explosions all the time as this big chaotic space scene unfolds in front of them. And it looks like it's, there's no way that Percy could make it out. And we cut up to a close shot of the smoke and the explosions and everything. And just before we cut to the credits, Charlie, we see a hint of silver peek out and the engine squeak as it slides right off the screen. Credits roll.
Cool. I like that. That's a fun movie. That's a fun ending also.
That was the worst thief in the galaxy.
Because he's the worst thief in the galaxy because he's not selfish. Thieves are notorious for being selfish and self-obsessed, but he's really a good guy. And that's why he's the worst thief in the galaxy.
And he does
I was thinking it was because he was a bumbling idiot.
He does the idea is like he does extremely risky things, like attacking that cargo vessel in the beginning, for very little reward. Because for him, it's not as much about the money; it's more about like the thrill,
Yeah.
He likes the
exactly,
thrill.
and this guy, seemingly probably could have retired from thievery a long time ago because he's got all these trophies and all this cool shit,
Yeah.
And he's got this awesome ship, right? So he's doing it because he loves thievery. He loves stealing shit.
He likes the action. It's just fun for him.
Yeah.
He's having a good time.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't enjoy being a space pirate? I would enjoy it. I like that a lot. Did you have any mind? Obviously, we always cast ourselves as the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. We're always the comedic duo.
Yeah, we can be the two pirates. Yeah.
Yeah. Who did you have any casting in mind for Percy or Brom? Like our two kind of main guys.
Like I wanted like George Clooney in the Ocean's 11. Like a younger George Clooney.
That's a good.
I think would be Percy.
Younger George Clooney. Maybe we can get like Dave Bautista as Brom. I could see him being like, I'm just gonna be big and loud and annoying and obnoxious and mean. I think he could do that. He could pull that off.
That could be good. I like that.
All right. Well, thank you. I enjoyed The Worst Thief in the Galaxy. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles. Along with me has always been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Goliath. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat. And remember, we will be here next motherfucking week with a brand new television series that will be titled, Jacob, give us a title, a fun title for me to exploit.
A fun title. Charlie to exploit. Well, you already know what it is, Charlie, so why don't you say it? Yes, I do.
The Balloon with Striped Pajamas. Not to be confused with The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Very sad Holocaust movie and book. The Balloon with Striped Pajamas will be a fun romp. It's by the way, I've already got an idea for it. You can change the stripe
part if you want. You can make it like the balloon with checkered pajamas if that makes it less connected.
No, it's fine because it's whatever. I have an idea already, and I can tell you right now, if you are annoyed with me like taking vaguely silly or science fiction-y or fantasy titles and making it serious like dramas about people finding themselves, you are not gonna like next week. You're gonna be hating. You're gonna be a hater.
God. All right, I am scared.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and please have a good day.